Okay guys, I'm going to show you something real quick. Just run over a few things both in XP and in Windows 7. So one of the first things we want to look at is we want to look at our hard drive properties. Now we've looked at the properties of the operating system and the properties of the display, but not the hard drive properties. So if we want to look at the hard drive properties, we can double click on my computer and then we can just right click right on the C drive. And this is going to give you the properties for that actual hard drive. And as you can see, we have a lot of free space and just a little bit is being used on this operating system. This is also a place where I can do a disk cleanup. I can come over here into the tools and do some error checking, defragmentation to help speed up the computer. Also, I can share if I have that available, and I can actually enable a quota management that allows only a certain amount of disk space to be used. Okay, so I'll go over all this where this is in Windows 7 as well, but I'm going to go ahead and finish everything in XP first. So let's go ahead. Next thing we want to look at, because that's really it for the disk properties. The next thing we want to look at is the run command. Now what the run command does, when you hit the start button and it's right here, it says run, what that allows you to do is to open files or internet or an actual program right from the run. So the example we're going to use is the calculator. So if you know the command, which for the calculator is just CALC, so calc, that is the actual .exe file, but you don't need to put the .exe. You can just put calc, press enter, and right comes up the calculator. And you can just use the numbers or press right here, and it's just a working calculator. So that's something that you can use quickly. But if you're trying to get to a file or a folder, we can go into the run, and let's say we want to go to our test folder. We need to put in our path, so C colon slash documents and settings, and actually it's already there. You can see that I have two different ones, but we want the text.txt. It's got the whole path. Now you'll notice the %20 right here. Let me just highlight this real quick. That is put in place of a space. So instead of putting a space in there, the %20 is needed. But I'm not going to ask you guys to do this. I just want you to see this. And then we click OK. And it brings up our text document right there. So that's what the run command is used for. Okay, so remember, if you want to get to the calculator though, we just run CALC and the calculator comes right up. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you guys in here is how to create a compressed folder, because you may have to do this for one of the assignments. So to create a compressed folder, or a zipped folder as it's also called, we choose the folder that we want to compress. You can just right click on it, send to, and there it is, compressed zipped folder. And when you do that, you'll notice that it creates another folder. And let me drag it over here so you can see the difference side by side. You see that this one is kind of an open folder, whereas this one has a zipper to it. Now, if I highlight it, you see that that one is 148 bytes, whereas the original one was 24 bytes. Okay? Normally, the size will get smaller. For some reason, this one actually got bigger, because when we open it, you'll see that there's actually the whole folder in there and then the document. Whereas this one, when we go to properties, you can see that it's only 24 bytes because all it is holding is that one document. Whereas this one is now holding both the folder and the document. So, but normally that will compress the file for you. This is just a rare occurrence where it does not. But it will make it smaller and more compact so that you can put it in the Dropbox easier. Okay, and you will have to do this in one of the assignments. So I'm going to bounce over to Windows 7 real quick and show you just everything that we just did. So first thing, going into the computer and right clicking on the properties for that local disk. And there we are again. You can see I'm using more space in here, but I also have the sharing option and the quota option and just the general information about my hard drive. I can cancel that. Now, in Windows 7, the run command is not right here. This little bar can be used as the run command. So if I start to type CALC, you see that the calculator comes up right there. All right, and I can click it, and there's my calculator. Pretty simple. And finally, we're going to make a compressed file here, or folder. Same thing, send to, compress zipped, and there you go. We now have a compressed version of that file. Okay, pretty simple stuff. If you guys have any questions, let me know.